Thank you, buddy. Nathan's a great guy. If anyone doesn't know him, y'all need to get to know him because he's going somewhere in this state. I've been in the trenches with him several times, working in the Haslam Administration. He was in the governor's office. I was working for Commissioner Haggerty, recruiting businesses like we did yesterday. Did everybody see the news yesterday of all the jobs downtown? As students, you should be super excited that new jobs are coming into town, new development, new livelihoods and prosperity in downtown Nashville. So those are the kind of work I got to do. So I started out, I was here at Lipscomb in the 90s. And let me tell you, today, the university experience that you have, the degree that you're getting, that your experience is better, your degree is worth more than when I was here. And I hope that in 20 years, when you guys come back and hopefully speak at a biz talk or something else, I hope that you're able to say the same thing, because if we all collectively work together, you're going to get a richer and richer and richer experience out of Lipscomb. And one of the things that I've been most excited about, and this is maybe something I probably did because I don't know how many of you, I was like on the 5 or 6 year plan here at Lipscomb when I was in school. So the reason I did that was because I tended to do stuff off campus. And I know that Dr. Lowry's vision is that all of Nashville becomes Lipscomb's campus. And I've heard him talk about that, and I've shared that passion with him. And I think that many of you have these interesting experiences. So maybe you're here for pizza, maybe you're here for chapel credit. Did anybody think that I was going to talk about the Titans or the Predators today? I'm not. The truth of the matter is, and even though I'm on tape, I probably shouldn't say this up there, but I'm not a sports fan. It's amazing. I have the best job in all of Metro government, and I have every guy's dream job as being the head of the sports authority, working with our professional sports teams and getting to deal with contracts. And this morning I spent 30 minutes on the phone with George Plaster. I couldn't tell you anything that was in the sports page today. I don't know who won the Predators game last night. I've been to one Titans game this year. It's just not interesting to me, frankly. I don't watch SportsCenter. But here's what I can do. I can read people, I can read a spreadsheet, and I can deal with different folks. And that's what makes me pretty good at my job, and that's why a governor and a mayor and folks want to hire me to come and run jobs. And that's stuff I learned here at Lipscomb. The other thing that I learned here at Lipscomb was the value of integrity. And you're each getting that, through your chapel, through your Bible credits and different things like that. But the ability to go and work with someone one-on-one and fundamentally understand that you have to be honest, you have to be upfront. So when I worked for, I'm a Republican, right? So I was running around out there doing some stuff, and this Democrat guy named Karl Dean called me up and said, "Hey, I want you to work in my campaign." I said, "Well, that's kind of weird. Well, let's go have a cup of coffee." And I got to know the mayor in ways that were just so fantastic. And I say this because this is where I kind of want to go. It's kind of about working together and people coming together because, if you look at the situation in Washington, sometimes we get too partisan. We get too off on the sides of things. Sometimes up there they lose integrity. But in Nashville, whether you're working with a pro sports team or a mayor, sometimes if you get to know someone who's different than you, who maybe believes sometimes a little differently than you do, sometimes some really special things can happen when that door opens, and sometimes you have the faith to walk through it. Interesting things happen. So as a Republican, I started working for a Democrat and Mayor Dean, and sometimes I would have people say, "Oh, how could you do that?" Or you'd have Democrats that went to the mayor and would say, "Mayor Dean, how could you hire this guy to do your lobbying or do your policy work?" And the funny thing was, when that would happen, I would always sit down with Karl. We would be in his office, and we would sit, and we would laugh about those things. We couldn't believe people actually thought that was an issue. And so I'd encourage you guys, as you're studying, as you're getting out there, as you're out in the community, do things that are against your type. Do things that maybe you're not comfortable with. Go and explore and get to know this community. The prosperity in this community right now today is unlike ever before. I grew up here. I lived in East Nashville as a little kid at a time when someone would ask me, "Well, where are you from?" I would never say East Nashville. I would say, "Well, I'm from Madison," or somewhere like that. LP Field wasn't there. It wasn't a cool place. And so my parents never went to college. I was the first person in my whole family to go to college. I didn't know where in the world I was going to college. And I chose Lipscomb, and I chose it because it was very comfortable for me. But when I got here, I had to kind of force myself out of that comfort zone. And I started running around with guys like Randy Bostic, who just popped in back there. He's late to chapel, just like we were back in the day. Or Derek Free, that's standing back here, who's my neighbor and friend I get to deal with. But some of these guys and we all would go out and we would try our best to explore the boundaries beyond Granny White Pike and Belmont Boulevard. And after that, I had opportunities to work in political campaigns, which was kind of interesting and fun, all over the place. I mainly stayed in the Nashville area. Then later on, I figured out, well, you can't really make money running around being a volunteer all the time, so I had to kind of specialize in something. So I became a communications guy. And so I moved into the PR firm world and doing advocacy work, kind of more professionally, lobbying. It's not really a dirty word. And then I got these opportunities to work for these great guys. And so I commented a little bit on Mayor Dean. I'll tell you a little bit about Governor Haslam. I think that we couldn't in this state have elected a person of better integrity and a person of more zeal, someone with a business acumen who's running this state in a way that that very few others could. And I think it's really neat. I've seen him here on campus several times, kind of incognito, and I think that's kind of cool. And so Governor Haslam has a very interesting way of dealing with people one-on-one too. It's very much, when you're sitting across and you're making a deal, it's very much a business relationship where you get to know folks, you work together for the common good, and you rise above anything partisan. Or there's more things that bring us together than divide us apart, he would tell you. And those are the kind of leaders I think that we need, not only in this city, in this state, but also in this country. And I hope that I get to continue, and people like Nathan get to continue working, and we get to kind of bring people together and do something good. Hope that was successful. I kind of gave a little bio, a little zeal, I hope. I love this city. Yeah, so back to the Sports Authority, I'll kind of close with this. So despite not really being a huge sports fan, sports nut, I do watch things. I'm not oblivious. But the reason I do what I do every day is because I want to help people. And the concept of sports and building a new, the new ballpark at Sulphur Dell is going to be fantastic. First Tennessee Park is going to be first class. I was out there this morning. That's kind of why I'm dressed, because it was cold, it was damp. It'll be a fantastic thing, but I am less concerned about what happens on that playing field, and I'm more concerned about what happens in the stands and bringing people together and the congregation of different folks kind of coming back together as we kind of revitalize Jefferson Street in an area of town that, frankly, in the north part of the Nashville area, we haven't had economic development the way we should. And I'm more excited about that than anything that happens on the field. I'm more excited that last night there were people up and down Broadway that came together for a Predators game. We're not a traditional ice hockey market. I'm more excited about that. And I'm more excited that next week, that before the Titans take the field, which I think is great, it's Monday Night Football, right? It's going to be a fun game. But I'm really excited that in the commercial breaks, the skyline of our city is going to be featured. I'm excited those announcers before the game are going to be talking about what a cool city we live in and all the news we have. So with 1 minute and a half left, I'll tell you, this spring I'm teaching a class in political communications. So I know y'all are all registering right now. It's on Tuesday afternoons. We'll talk a lot more about all of these issues, talk more. Heck, I might even get you into a baseball game this spring as we kick off things. So I encourage you to register for my class in political communications and political science department. And I just appreciate being here and seeing so many friendly faces and getting to share with you guys just for a few minutes. Thanks.